What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Mr. Onesie Live. So today we're going to be talking about the highly anticipated Demon Slayer movie, Mugen Train. Now, I know a lot of fans have been really waiting for this film, like myself, because I really enjoyed the first season. When the first season of the anime came out, I was really impressed. I wasn't really fully on the wave initially because everybody was telling me, oh my god, when are you going to watch Demon Slayer? Oh my god, when are you going to watch Demon Slayer? Oh my god, when are you going to watch Demon Slayer?
Enough!
But eventually, I finally watched it. What really drew me to the story was the animation. I think the animation and the art style was a little bit different than what I was used to seeing. And I did kind of like the story. I mean, it touches on a lot of different tropes that other animes, have already used. But all in all, I thought it added a different flavor to it and thus could stand on its own individually from other animes into some retrospect. And I was pretty intrigued by the story. Nevertheless, I really enjoyed the first season and I really wanted to watch this movie. So before we dive into the big plot points and all that stuff, I wanted to give my firsthand impressions. Now, I knew this was going to take place on the train, and it was going to be centered around this demon who is the only one of the lower sixth. I figured like he is the big baddie of the movie, and I was wondering how all this was going to happen. Also, we are introduced to Rengoku, who was the flame Hashira, and I was pretty excited to see what he was going to bring to the table. Because we get introduced to all the Hashiras in the first season, but we really don't really get to see a whole glimpse of what their power was. So I was actually really intrigued to see like more of a big fraction of what a Hashira could do. So first impression standing alone after seeing the film, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny. I thought the story was pretty concise and consistent. I thought it was fun and really enjoyable. Like the humor, I would say the humor wasn't just all over the place, like laugh out loud, hilarious. But I thought a lot of the positions there were really enjoyable, and I think a lot of the little anime incisions there, everybody could really relate to. Of course, the animation I completely loved. The choreography, the fight choreography, and the direction I thought was pretty well on, was pretty solid. So all in all, I really thought that the film did the whole show justice. So now really getting into it, a big spoiler alert. I'm about to go ahead and talk about critical plot points and really diving into characters and all of that. So, spoiler alert. So I thought the whole concept of the whole dream sequence that the demon was doing was actually pretty interesting. I think playing off of everyone's inner emotions, everyone's inner fears, everyone's inner turmoils. I thought that was pretty heart-wrenching. And then we got to see a glimpse of Rengoku and what his life was like, which I was really glad to see because you really don't know anything about the guy. And plus, the first time you meet the guy, he's over there just sitting, just saying tasty repeatedly over his food. And I really just couldn't understand him anyway. And his voice acting was just like so solid, just tasty, tasty. Like, I really didn't even understand this character. But I'm so glad that we really got to see him because he really made a great impression on me and in the film. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you moviegoers, anime lovers, are really going to love him. Of course, I loved everyone else in the film from Tanjiro, Inosuke, Zenitsu, Nezuko, and of course, Rengoku. I think we still got to grow with them and learn a lot more about them and see all of their little antics. And we really got to see how they grow as well inside of their whole breathing style art. Now, one thing I will say about the combat on the train is that, well, I'm glad that there was so much more to the story. Because if all the fighting and all the climax stuff was really just the train combat and everything, I think I would have been disappointed. But I'm glad there was that whole third arc of the movie later on. But let's talk about the train. So with the demon now manifesting this whole dream sequence and having everybody fall into a deep sleep so he can go ahead and ingest everybody, we really get to see everybody's, dreams and stuff like I said before. I think that whole growth really shed a light on everyone's character and really what they thought as well. If it was something that was heart-wrenching, that made you really feel for the character, or if it was something really hilarious and funny, as in the cases of Zenitsu and Inosuke. But it really made you relate to the characters more. And I think in this case, especially with Rengoku, it was much appreciated and much needed. The fighting on the train was pretty solid. They really didn't do too much of anything magnificent as they did in the show. But overall, it was still cool to see the sleek art style and their fighting styles and all that nature on the train. But of course, Rengoku shined above others and really showed what the power of a Hashira looked like. And fighting on the train and fighting the big baddie after he takes over and becomes the train was actually pretty interesting to see. Seeing Tanjiro overcome the whole turning back into a dream sequence over the eye thing was actually pretty cool. I really like the fact that Inosuke, helped him at that last moment of not like committing suicide because he thought he was in a dream sequence. I thought that was a pretty cool touch. I thought them working together was pretty fun because you know how Inosuke is just like literally all over the place. So I thought that was really enjoyable to see that type of teamwork. So fast forward, they kill the big baddie, the train is over, and so now I'm thinking, what else is really gonna happen in this movie? Then all of a sudden, an upper rank demon, number 3 to be exact, just comes out of nowhere. And now there's just a big, huge fight between him and Rengoku. So now I'm on the edge of my seat. Like literally, I'm like this. Because we really get to see a taste of Rengoku's true power as well as what an upper rank demon actually looks like or what he does or what he's capable of. Which was actually pretty cool because in the show you expected them to be a lot stronger, definitely from the lower ranks. And there's always this big talk of how they've never changed. They've killed Hashiras before. And, like what is it like? And now we finally get to see one. And the fight did not disappoint. Rengoku really gave his all in this fight. Like his art styles, his willpower, and everything like that. It was so noble of him. And of course, you expected that as a Hashira, somebody of that caliber, being the top ranked, kind of like a Naruto, like a Hokage, so to speak. Having somebody of that caliber fighting somebody on the opposite end, these two willpowers of forces just going at it with each other. And all the while, this upper demon is trying to convince him to become a demon himself. And Rengoku's just like, nah, chill with that. But I really loved his will and determination, Rengoku, to stand his ground and want to stay human. But that leads to an interesting point because of the fact that the demon is right. Humans are fragile, humans are frail, and they're gonna get old. So with the Hashiras who have just continued to live on, the upper demons have not changed for centuries, and they've killed a lot of Hashiras, which leads to the point is who's gonna be able to kill an upper demon? Because it seems like no Hashira can. And it even took all of Rengoku's willpower to even get close to cutting off this demon's neck, which he wasn't able to prevail in the end, and he ended up dying. It cost him his life. But in hindsight, he really gave it his all. And if that is the base level power of like, or just like the max power of what a Hashira is capable of, like the least amount of what the other Hashiras look like, then they're gonna have a lot of issues going against the other demons of upper rank, like let alone number 2 and number 1 and the head honcho of it all. I can't remember his name right now. So yeah, that made me really think about what the future of Demon Slayer is going to be and how strong that Tanjiro and his friends are going to have to be to face these demons. Because Rengoku couldn't beat him. And in the end, it was really disheartening because I thought that he was at least going to take him out to some effect, or at least maybe decapitate him to a certain extent to where his neck was almost off. And maybe Inosuke and Tanjiro might have delivered the final blow. Like it was going to take more than one Demon Slayer to actually kill him. Which I think in hindsight is actually going to do. It might take more than one Hashira to kill an upper rank demon. They're just that powerful. And they've been killing Hashiras for centuries. So that might have to be the case. It might just take 2-on-1 battle or 3-on-1 battle, depending on how strong they really are. Because I also don't think that upper rank demon number 3 was actually using all of his power. I really think that he was holding back. But I think what made him get close to death was that he didn't expect Rengoku to be as strong as he was and to catch him at the end nearly in the sunlight. And that was really going to kill him. Not even the full decapitation, because I don't think he was going to be able to get through with the full decapitation. I think that's why Inosuke and Tanjiro were there to really help deliver that final blow. But the demon was smart in cutting off his own arms, and releasing himself and getting away from the sunlight, which that was probably going to kill him first before even being decapitated. So all in all, I thought the battle was pretty resounding. And to have that final fight scene, I thought was really much needed. Because as big as the Mugen Train whole climax was, I felt like it wouldn't have been befitting for a whole film if it was just that. So I do like that the whole climax, the whole third arc, did incorporate the upper rank demon because I think it introduces everyone more to the characters and more to what's at stake in the entire franchise. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the film. I really don't know what to expect for season 2, but I do think that there's going to be a lot of growth with Tanjiro and his friends, and perhaps with the knowledge that Rengoku gave Tanjiro at the end about his notes, his father's notes about this sacred stance, it might lead to something that might help kill an upper rank demon. But who knows? All we could do is wait. But if you're worried about, how you're gonna feel about the movie, um, and I guess you've got this far, trust me, you'll enjoy the film. It's really great. It's really spectacular. I thought it was really well done, and it definitely hit me in the feels because we really get introduced to Rengoku, and I was really sad to see him go. But I really love that animes are able to take it to those stakes because I feel like if you don't have stakes to where the characters die and they're actually gone for good, it really takes the reality and the humanity out of it that you actually are scoping out the stakes of mortality, which is a big factor that the show was talking about, specifically in this movie. And more specifically from the demon, talking about, hey, become a demon and we can spar forever, we can train forever, and you'll be as strong as whatever. So those are the really big points that I noticed. I enjoyed the film, and I think that everybody should definitely take a look at it. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Please like and subscribe and share the video if you can. I appreciate all the feedback, all the love, and drop a comment if you feel like sharing any thoughts. This has been a Mr. Onesie Live production.